Well, hello YouTube, it's me Fortmaster, and welcome back to another game theory reaction. And this one I'm a bit weirded and worried about. Game theory, I'm uncomfortable, and I love it. And it appears to be a couch video, or at least from the thumbnail it looked like one. So yeah, I got no idea what's going on here. So original video is linked in the description. Corner video will be leading to my film theory reaction, and yeah, let's continue on and see what this is about then, shall we?
Well, this is gonna be awkward. You have started to figure out my secrets, so now we're gonna have to talk about them. At this point,
wait, what
most
secrets?
of you are familiar with the idea of yes and. It's an improv thing. In case you're not, it's basically the idea that when you're doing a scene with a partner, if they introduce a new element, you don't reject it. Instead, you accept it and you build off of it. You say yes and. So, Ash.
Yes.
Ha! And! There it is! Woo! Nailed it! Ash, you're a theater kid. Toss out something random.
Oh, okay. Giant purple elephant.
Oh no! The giant purple elephant is outside the room and it's coming to eat our nuts. It's escaped the circuit.
It's what? Hello?
Sorry. There you go. You get the point. Yes, and. By saying no, by shutting down other people's ideas, you end the scene and you leave a lot of interesting possibilities out there that you didn't take. But by saying yes, you get this mounting sense of chaos that can ultimately lead to some really crazy, interesting, and clip-worthy moments, apparently. So,
okay.
Why am I telling you all of
Where
this?
is,
well,
yeah, where's this going?
Life is a lot like an improv show. In fact, it literally is improv. Constantly having to figure out things on the fly. And at the top of this year, I actually made myself a New Year's resolution to yes and my own life. And that, my friends, is how I tricked my way into competing in a professional PGA Golf tournament. Also why I'm now producing the scariest show Broadway's ever seen. These are some wild stories, friends, so strap in.
Wait,
Let's just start off
producing?
with the golf stuff, since this is game theory after all. And if there's a vague chance of me passing this off as game theory, might as well talk about, the sport, because sports are games. Anyway,
yeah,
at the beginning of this year, I felt myself calcifying. It's probably the best way to put it, which it feels extreme, but basically as you get older, life just starts to build up around you. You get more entrenched in your job. You have a house with stuff. You can't be spontaneous anymore because suddenly there are schedules and commitments that you gotta keep. It is harder to find time to teach yourself new things. It's harder to have new experiences. It's a lot like exercise. The longer you're off a treadmill, the harder it is to get back on that treadmill. At the beginning of this year, I started to understand how people tend to get stuck in their own ways because the demands of being an adult really start to trap you in. And even if you do have the best of intentions and you do want to keep an open mind for yourself, you're just so tired at the end of each day that you just can't muster up the energy to do it. So
Geez, who would have thought the guy running 5 separate channels would feel tired at the end of the day? I mean, no, I'm not like throwing anything at MatPat here. I love all of the theory channels. I love almost everything he puts out, him and his team. But at the same time, like, even with this huge team, he is the center face and has to be basically somewhat or mostly involved with everything that comes out. And it's like, I've always been worried about like stuff like this where you have these YouTubers that you love watching, but then they put out like so much different stuff that's like, dude, I mean, even if you are handing stuff off to other people to do, there's only so many hours in the day.
you wind up falling asleep in front of the TV and life moves on without you. At a certain point, you just can't catch up. You settle for what's familiar and what's comfortable. But I've always thrived on learning, challenging myself to try and do new things. That is like why this channel started as an edutainment channel, right? This was a place for me to learn new things when I couldn't find a job. Like, oh, let me teach myself about the plumbing systems of Europe because they have green pipes. Like a weird factoid that no one cares about, but it was cool for me. It kept my brain
That's an old
active.
one.
And when we did our YouTube Red Series Game Lab, it was the same thing. It was an excuse for me to trick YouTube into paying me to ride ostriches or playing car soccer, defusing bombs, training with the military, all that stuff. I have probably one of the most insane, dynamic, day-to-day jobs of anyone out there, and yet at the top of this year, I felt it happening to me, which just goes to show how it can happen to anyone at any point in time. So that's why I wanted to push myself to yes and my life, to push myself into areas where I would be uncomfortable. Little did I suspect just how far outside of my comfort zone this whole experiment would wind up. So a few months ago, the bank that we work with, RBC, asked Stephanie if we were interested in competing in a celebrity golf tournament. Stephanie immediately made the sensible choice and said no, because we don't know how to play golf. Sometimes I'm able to...
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of an important part of playing in a golf tournament, eh?
hit that scary monster worth 500 points down the middle at the field of Drive Shack. That's like it. Later that night, though, when she asked me about it, I said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. It'll be a good story. And how many times did this sort of chance pop up in your life? As long as they know how bad I am at golf, we should be fine, right? Plus, you know, we're talking about celebrity golf. I've seen Celebrity Jeopardy before. I know they lower the bar for celebrities. Oh man, how wrong I was. Our life is pretty darn busy, so I said yes, and I moved on. And then I promptly forgot about it because there was just a lot. It wasn't about until 3 weeks later when I was like, hey, yeah, that celebrity golf thing, is that still happening? And then I found out exactly what I'd said yes to. I kid you not, we were in the parking lot of an Applebee's killing time when we took a minute to actually pull up the website for this thing. Turns out, I wasn't the celebrity competing in this golf tournament. Professional golfers were the celebrity. I was just there to compete as a partner. This also wasn't just...
Okay, now I'm curious, who was it at RBC that decided to do this, really? And were they given a raise or were they fired?
Just some random stroll through the links in partnership with the bank. This was an official stop on the PGA Tour. Like, that is the big golf thing in the world. And now I'm just inserted into one of their events. Also, it's gonna be televised. And as we kept scrolling through that website, the layers of realization just kept hitting me like a ton of bricks. The pot for the professionals that ultimately topped out in this thing, it was $20 million. It was also taking place on one of the top 20 hardest courses in the US. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone, but suddenly my comfort zone was on a completely different planet. We had also, at this point, already doubly confirmed our commitment of attending. It was too late for me to back out, or get lessons, or really do much of anything.
Oh no!
The only way out of this thing was through it. So I did the only thing I could do. I went shopping, because, you know.
Wait, has this thing happened yet? Is he telling this like after the fact? Because if I had known this was happening, I would have tried to find it on TV.
Something told me I probably wasn't going to be able to roll up to a professional golf tournament and rent a bag of clubs. Because again, remind you, I don't play golf. I had nothing. So with 3 weeks before this $20 million golf tournament, knowing practically nothing about golf, I roll up to the Dick's Sporting Goods. First thing on a Saturday morning, and I kid you not, the conversation went something like this. Hey, welcome to Dick's. How can I help you? Yeah, hi. I accidentally signed myself up to be in a professional PGA golf tournament, and I need to look like I know what I'm doing. But I also don't want to look like I'm trying too hard and overpaid for clubs that I don't know how to use. Basically, I need everything. It was at that point that Mike, the man who would ultimately be my savior that day, asked what tournament I was playing in. You could tell at the very least he didn't believe me. And so when I dropped the name, oh yeah, I'm competing in the RBC Heritage Tournament, he went, oh. That's serious.
Just that whole thing of what he said. I accidentally signed up for a golf tournament and like yada yada and all that stuff. And the one thing I thought of through all of that was that sounded exactly like some sort of like 80s or 90s like comedy, like sports comedy or something like that. Like, you tell me, looking at like all the sports movies and that sort of stuff, like through the 80s and 90s, that doesn't sound exactly what like a movie that would have been made. Maybe even Adam Sandler would have been like the starring role in something like that. I mean, he already made like what was it, Happy Madison? That was a golf movie, but he was a hockey player in it. So, but still, I mean, just I guess the old saying goes, life imitates art.
Can I tell you, my stomach dropped faster than the Tower of Terror. You ever see the movie Pretty Woman? There's this scene where Julia Roberts' character goes to a fancy store and basically goes up and down the aisles, row by row, getting transformed from a hired escort into a fancy lady of society. But let me tell you, Mike Pretty Woman'd me hard that morning. He literally had to handhold me through every aisle to get clubs, towels, tees, balls, a golf glove, golf shoes, divot markers, even freaking socks, since apparently the golf shoes are stiff and so they rub against your ankles and it's uncomfortable. They also...
So if that's the case, why do you need special socks? Wouldn't regular socks just do?
Talk to me about which golf shirts were for the cool people and which ones for the dudes in their 70s. That way, I could avoid looking like a complete failure and an old man. I could just look like a failure, not the old man half. I learned that at a Dick's Sporting Goods, they have to call their customers athletes. So at one point, someone tried to call Mike away to help someone, and he's like, oh no, I can't right now. I'm helping an athlete. To which I replied, oh no. Let's not oversell what's really happening here. You'll also notice that I went with the clubs that were black and green.
Okay, so this already did happen. Oh my god. I wish I could have seen this. Or I wish they put out a video talking about like the behind the scenes, if they were able to record behind the scenes and that sort of stuff. Oh my god.
They were just the ones that were on brand for me. I thought it was a sign from the gods. These clearly would be the clubs that would help carry me through this ordeal. And these, right here, I'm gonna show them up on screen. These are the shoes that I ended up wearing. I chose RGB so I could fail in spectacular gamer fashion.
Oh
so
my
equipped
God.
with a brand new, literally everything, I had basically 1 week left to practice. Thank goodness I had a pro to practice with me before the main event, and that pro's name was Jason. Yeah, hashtag blame Jason. Yeah, he was here with me. He is now pro at golf. He was just visiting from out of town, and so I forced him to go with me to practice golf after work. 2 athletes all ready to go and get their golf on.
Look at that pretty tee.
I know, isn't that cool?
Like I said, 2 athletes ready to compete in the noble sport of golf.
This is my first step to being a PGA champion. I've got 1 week to prepare for a PGA official tournament. Hole 1, day 1. Got 7 days to not embarrass myself. How's it gonna go? I don't know. The hole's somewhere over there, right? How do I know where the hole is?
Once we located the general
Yeah, I
direction
know where the
of where
hole
we
is.
were supposed to aim, it was time to warm up those clubs.
Nice shot.
It didn't get a whole lot of air, but it went straight. I'll take it. Oh,
It's
nice.
better than I can do.
Great.
The few times I've gone golfing, it's been like at like one of those driving ranges and stuff. Like I am horrible. They go off all over the place. Oof, I'm horrible at this.
Swings in, both our balls went generally in the right direction. Yes, clearly everything was gonna be fine.
I got a double bogey, but I will take that.
I hit a house.
Maybe
Whoops.
not.
But you know how they say you can't hit the side of the barn? Well,
I
basically,
can't.
yeah,
Let me say, I hit farther than I expected.
you did. No, it was mighty.
Oh, we hit a house all right, so really stellar work there. Also, just to make sure that we were as practiced as possible for this, we made sure to focus on my short game as well.
Day 2 of training for the PGA
Mini
Tour.
golf.
Today it's all about the short game. You know, for all the 360 loops that are required. This one's for you, Tiger Woods. I literally hit it so hard that it launched off the back wall and started to go back around the loop. It's serious putter.
Seriously?
It's a mini golf.
Cue the obligatory training montage. We were determined to make sure that I was prepared for anything that the PGA could throw my way. Baseball bats,
This is clearly legal. Whoa, hey, got through.
Wait
zip
a minute.
lines, pneumatic tubes.
Awesome.
What kind of mini golf course is this? This is like golfing with friends in real life. And where is it so I can go? This is awesome. Why can't any of the mini golf courses near me be like that?
Okay, there it goes. Whoa, no! Oh, so close.
So with 16 holes of golf and a round of putt-putt under my belt, it was time to compete in the PGA Tour. Also, you didn't hear me wrong, I did say 16 holes of golf. That's an important factoid because a typical round of golf is 18 holes. We didn't make it that far because it kept getting dark before we could finish a round. I didn't even play through an entire round of golf before my professional golf tournament. I gotta admit, when the day arrived, I started to get nervous. Up to this point, it had all been fun and games, right? I was just doing it for the memes.
Tap in.
But yeah.
I mean, when you're starting from rock bottom, you have literally nowhere to go but up. There is nowhere below where I was sitting when it comes to golf skill. But reality really started to set in once I saw my name on the board.
I laughed. I'm last. My name's on the board. I get all day to wave.
See, of course, seeing people warming up, seeing the banners and giant signs. This was a real thing with real people who really care about golf. And here I was, out on my limb. I had yes-anded my way to one of the craziest situations possible, and there was no way to go out. I had to get through it.
Matthew's in the program. There he is. We're so proud.
Matthew, Patrick.
It started to dawn on me that everyone was just really good at golf, and that they would all see me being really bad at golf.
Oh no. There's a lot of people who are gonna watch me putt, and I am very bad at putting if it doesn't involve a windmill or some sort of bumper feature.
Now, this might come as a surprise to you, but I'm a bit of a try-hard. It's shocking, right? I know.
Oh,
if there
God,
are
this whole
type
thing.
A control freaks out there, I am like a type A+. But what that means is that I like to come in prepared for things. I won't even do karaoke unless I've fully warmed up my voice and have rehearsed the song that I'm about to perform. When I think back on the course of my life, this was really the first thing ever that I'd ever done where I wasn't like 100% prepared going in. At least, you know, there was this one kid that I could relate to. Gotta admit, I'm kind of digging this kid. This is me. He has a mood. Also a professional golfer, but this guy's a mood. And clearly, I was like so out of my depth and in a world where I did not belong.
Love the plaid
There was just
suit.
like this one kid that I could relate to. I was slated to play in the Pro-Am, which meant that I play with a pro and that I, the amateur, accompany them. It's the warm-up round for the pro, but there are places and trophies and prizes attached to it. And they were stuck with me. I am so sorry.
Oh,
listeners.
no.
The night before they asked me what my handicap was, my response to them was, I don't know, how high can it go? And they were like, no, really? And I said, hey, the fact that I have no clear answer for you should probably tell you how high we need to get with this thing. It was plus 21 is the true answer. They're like, it goes to plus 21. So that's what they gave me.
Oh.
And that wasn't enough. I think when I told them early in the process that I was bad at golf, they thought I was being modest. But oh no, they were about to see how bad I really was. Let me paint the scene for you. Hole number 1, RBC Heritage Tour, live on the Golf Channel. Time for all my hour of practice to pay off. Stroke number 1. It was in the water. 1 ball in, 1 ball lost. I guess I can't say that I didn't leave my mark on the RBC Heritage. Let me tell ya, I left many marks along the RBC Heritage route.
I didn't hit a house, and I didn't hit a person. So overall, I consider that a win.
Famous last words. I would.
Oh
later house.
no.
Ooh. Just a little to the right.
Little bit, just a scope.
There is no sugarcoating this one, friendos. This isn't some sort of angels in the outfield moment where I suddenly become miraculously good at this sport. I was bad. Just flat out bad. For 7 straight hours.
Joking all over the place.
Oh, there were a couple of good shots.
Oh yeah.
Hey!
Nice shot.
18th hole, got 1.
But overall, most of them looked a lot like this.
Yeah, that would yeah. Oh my god. Just from the secondhand cringe and embarrassment, I feel like a black hole is forming in my heart and pulling me towards it.
That's alright.
Can we actually rewind and get a slow-mo of that one? I think this one actually went backwards, which then prompted them to ask me how many times I'd played golf. It was time for me to come clean.
How many times you played golf?
Oh, I played once last week.
They told me that it was a miracle that I was hitting the ball forward. Across 14
Oh,
holes,
okay.
I ended up losing 16 balls. That's right, 14 holes. I couldn't even complete a full round of 18-hole golf here. In all seriousness, for 4 holes, I actually switched out with my caddy, who, funny enough, was also named Matt. It's a match made in heaven.
Galaxy brain strands are happening right now, people. After a bunch of holes where I've successfully embarrassed myself every way to Sunday, we're pulling out the big guns. We're doing a swap identity. I call this the Freaky Friday technique. We're both medium height, very pale, dark-haired. No one's gonna be able to tell. I'm gonna give her my sunglasses so no one will have any idea which one. You've heard of MatPat. Now try Caddy Pat.
Oh
And let's be clear,
no.
we went all out for this genius plan.
I gotta shout out my videographer here.
Hello.
This is Matt. We are literally the Matt triumvirate.
You are.
I'm Matt, he's Matt, and
You got
also
the caddies, Matt, over there.
and Caddy Matt, who is actually the MatPat stand-in Matt.
And then we got my dad's coming to watch us. He's also another Matt.
Oh, let's get him in here, dude.
Oh, we will.
Oh God, no.
This is gonna be my best hole. I think this is the role I was born to play.
Matt had actually been golfing since he was a kid. He had been picking up caddy jobs so he could learn the sport. He was playing at school. He was the one that should have been playing in this tournament, not me.
I don't deserve to be here.
Yeah.
This is the guy who's been training his whole life to be here.
Even the pro got a kick out of this one.
Tomorrow's being demoted.
I did. I got demoted.
Oh man, come on, I was gonna give you a
No, I appreciate that.
Okay, that's good.
No. This is the
One
guy.
more crack at you. You can't finish it.
Oh no, certainly not. This is my secret strategy.
In all truthfulness, he probably was just glad that he didn't have to cringe his way through watching me play another hole of golf. And you know what? Caddy Matt crushed it.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Performing under pressure. That right there, my boy.
And what made it extra cool was that his dad and his mom were there to support him caddying at this big PGA event. And you could just see the pride in his parents' eyes watching him standing there at the tee. Really, it was a win for everyone. He got to live out his dream, my pro didn't have to watch me suffer, and I got to not embarrass myself for a couple of holes. Victory. It was also strategic because I was starting to run out of balls towards the end. And so any balls that I could hold on to were valuable. That sounded... Also, fun fact, Matt refused to use my clubs because he said they had too much bend in them. So thanks a lot there, Mike from Dick's Sporting Goods. Thought you were hooking me up. In the end, I learned
Too
a
much
lot. For instance,
bend?
did you know that a full game of golf can take 7 hours? Because let me tell you, I didn't know that when I said yes. Did you also know that pros don't get a golf cart? They're walking the entire time through that course. Yep.
Really?
That is a thing. We started at 1 o'clock p.m. and we ended at 8 o'clock p.m.
With that, my first PGA Tour is over. 18 holes, 7 hours later, and it's done. And I'm glad I did it. I was terrible the whole time. But man, I haven't felt this proud of myself in a long time. Never been so uncomfortable, so embarrassed, but also so proud to have persisted through the whole thing. And seeing Steph and Ollie at the end, there's the most. And so like this thing right here, this little picture that they take. Here, it's the best trophy I could ask for. I'm always so precise, and I always have to be perfect. This showed me that it's okay to learn. Just embrace being bad at something, and be supported by people around you. And now I got this guy. Thank you for supporting me, Bean.
I wanted Ollie to see me challenging myself, putting myself out there, not being afraid to take risks. And honestly, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it too. Turns out, I really enjoyed playing golf. It's low stakes, it's nice to walk outside, and now every time I walk into a restaurant, they have the Golf Channel on, I get a little nod of kinship there. I see you. So what's the
Nod
theory
from the
in all
TV,
of this?
what?
What's the point of this video? It's good to be bad at things. It's good to be made uncomfortable sometimes. You have to let yourself be bad at things in order to get better at them. No one can put you out there except for you though. And if you only say yes to the things that you're comfortable with, the stuff that you're good at, well, a lot of life's coolest opportunities are gonna pass you by. It's easy to say no. Instead, I encourage you to say yes. Oh, and I said that there was gonna be a Broadway story in this one too, right?
Oh, yeah, there was.
This got real long, so nope, that's not gonna happen. But good news, the Broadway thing is actually happening right now, literally as we speak. I literally just flew back from New York where I saw the show for the first time. And if you wanna be a part of this cool new project, you actually can. Basically, I'm helping to produce a show that's unlike anything that Broadway's seen before. It's a spooky new play called Grey House, and it has all of my favorite things: mysterious lore that you have to solve, spooky horror elements, and of course, a ghost kid or two. It's even being performed inside of a haunted theater. The TLDR of all of this is that the show's great, the team behind it is all about inclusivity for theater and the arts, which is just very important right now. It's always been important, but you know, now's the time that we can start pushing that forward. And it is unlike anything that you're ever gonna see on Broadway. This is not your typical razzle-dazzle show. It's not the most feel-good thing, but it is very interesting. Anyway, the show's running right now in preview, so if you happen to be in New York and you want to check it out early, go check that out. That said, the official premiere date of the show is May 30th. I'm gonna be there, so if you want to swing by the theater before, after, maybe attend the show, you know, show up during the show, say hi to me, meet me on the street, whatever. I will be there. It'll be awesome to see you. Nothing official, just a casual meetup. That being said, the performance that's happening on May 31st is actually going to be a special one with a live talkback that's hosted by me for all of you that are sitting there in the theater. And you can bet all that footage is going to be used for another one of these storytime videos, because if you thought this was a wild story, that one is also a just incredible journey. So if you want to come see an awesome production that's spooky and mysterious and is taking place inside of a haunted theater, and then, you know, come hang out with me afterwards, I'm gonna be there. Just check out greyhousebroadway.com for tickets. There should also be a code on screen right now that'll help you save $10 if you want to go see the show. And in a couple weeks, we'll have another one of these sit-down Matt chats about it, because, you know, that's been a weird and wild ride of yes-anding my life once more and being thrown into areas where I'm so far out of my comfort zone. I don't know, we gotta come up with a name for this series somehow. It's gonna be some like 2023, the year of MatPat being uncomfortable. We'll call it that. So anyway, thank you for listening to my golf story. Thank you to
I don't think
RBC
that's
for
specific to
putting up with me
MatPat
for that
at
entire
all.
time. Thank you to the PGA for putting up with me. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see you in New York in a couple of weeks. Remember, that's May 30th and May 31st. So in the meantime, remember, it wasn't really a theory, but it was a story. A game story. Thanks for listening.
But hey, next time.
Oh my god. I can just say this outright right now. I could literally never do that. Not for the fact of like, oh, being bad and, you know, it's stuff like that. More for, because like, I know I'm bad at a lot of things. More so for being bad in front of professionals of said thing who I would hope are very good, while simultaneously being televised on television. Black hole of cringe just turning me into a diamond. Oh, I don't really have anything to add to that, so yeah, I'm just gonna call it here then. So yeah. So of course, original is linked in the description as always if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video will be going to my film theory reaction. Yeah, if you liked, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.